Hi there, and welcome to What is App Builder in the Breaking Ground series. This is going to cover just App Builder, all the pieces within it, and how we use them. Let's go ahead and jump in. I am already in App Builder. If you do not know how to get to App Builder, it is essentially off of the main page in the developer site. So when you first log into developer.workday.com, you will see this lovely page. Up at the top, you have some nice buttons to create applications. You can create integration apps, you can create your extend apps from here, and you can manage all the apps as well within your company. I've already created an app for myself. Let's go ahead and jump to that application. So here is kind of the full layout of App Builder. Up over on the left here, you have your sidebar, which has our handy button to our developer copilot, all of our app components, and then a nice little find button that you can search your entire application for any kind of text. If we go back to our components section, this little two boxes in the pencil, you're able to see all the different pieces of your app. Up at the top starts with your app configurations. These are the things that's going to tell what your app, what exactly it is, the name, the reference ID, data providers that your inbound and outbound endpoints will use to kind of give you those reusable URLs, as well as your attributes that you can essentially use as variables to use without your application. Next is going to be pages. These are those UI elements that is going to give your application a front end. These are pages, also known as PMD pages. Next is going to be our queries. These are essentially components basically decoupled from our pages that we can reuse within our application in a couple different places. You have graph queries as well as WQL queries there. That's a mouthful. That you can create and reuse in your app. Next is going to be security domains. You can create custom security domains that you can leverage within your tenant to secure different items in your application, including pages and orchestrations. And next is business objects. These are going to be your custom objects where you're able to define the different fields and the relationships of those fields to handle any type of data that you need if you're not able to leverage existing data within Workday. The next bit here is orchestrations. This is not the orchestration builder. This is just showing you which orchestrations live inside of your application. If you click on one of these, it's going to jump you to the orchestration builder, and we'll cover that in another video. Next here is the assets. This is just different images that you're able to use within your application. All you got to do is upload images, and then you can reference them on your UI elements. Next is going to be the testing section, where you're able to create mock data and configuration for your application to use. You don't have to necessarily connect to a tenant to get that live data. You can use mock data to see your PMD pages in a live preview. Next is going to be page configurations. These are going to be useful cards, reusable pods, scripts, and translations. The cards here are going to be cards that you're able to configure and put onto your tenant. Reusable pods are essentially bits of code that you can reuse throughout your application. Scripts are going to be those PMD scripts that you can essentially externalize and again make them reusable. And the last is pretty self-explanatory, those translation files that can translate based on the files that you provide to your application. Going down the list here, we have tasks. So you can create custom tasks that operate just like any other task in Workday, but these tasks are defined by you. Next here is your cards. These are cards that can be placed again throughout your tenant and easily visible to your users. Going down the list again is the card tenant settings. These tenant settings are essentially telling your cards how to operate, where to operate, and which security domains to utilize. Profile groups. These are going to be those obviously the profile groups. So within your profile, within Workday, you have those groups up at the top there, those tabs. These are custom profile groups that you can create for your profiles. Pretty neat there. You can create additional attachments to stick in different places within your application. You can create custom business processes in your application as well to utilize all that wonderful workflow. And last in the component section is going to be reports. So you can create custom reports that you're able to leverage within your tenant to get that custom reporting done from your actual external application. All right, so down at the bottom here, as we're going down, we have validations, build logs, and app logs. So we have essentially logging built directly into the app builder, so you don't need to navigate out of app builder to view your logs. And then if we jump up to the top right here, we're kind of wrapping up all the different buttons and components here. You got this little sandwich button. This is revert to App Hub. App Hub is essentially where your app lives when you save and deploy it to your tenant. Clicking that validate will check all of the fun validations pre-baked into the app builder system to see if you have any syntax errors or any build errors, that kind of thing, to be able to tell you how to fix it, where to fix it, and whether or not your app is without validation issues. Then you got your save to App Hub and save and deploy. Save to App Hub is literally just going to put this app out on the App Hub, but it's not going to redeploy and overwrite anything onto your tenant. And save and deploy is going to do that. It's going to both save it to your App Hub and then it's going to deploy it to a tenant. It will overwrite anything that is out there currently, so be cautious if you're working in a multi-developer environment with other folk. Last bit I wanted to call out here is going to be at the bottom left here. You have your you have a few little buttons here, keyboard shortcuts. So this is a handy little window to just view all the keyboard shortcuts within App Builder. There's some nice ones in here just to be able to jump around and do different stuff within App Builder, all using fun keyboard shortcuts. And the one below that is going to be the toggle of the theme. This toggles from light mode to dark mode. Pretty handy if you like either or, able to switch back and forth quite easily. And the last is going to be this little profile. It's going to show you where you're logged in, if you're logged into a tenant, if your tenant token is expiring within 20 minutes, I believe it's going to give you a little warning. And then you'll also be able to see a couple other things, including the giving feedback and sign out option. And the last thing I want to touch on is the Developer Copilot. You have two buttons for the Developer Copilot. One down here at the bottom right is going to give you that chat window where you can chat with Copilot to retrieve documentation or answer simple questions. And the other one is going to be this top left one that can actually generate different components for your application based on the prompt that you give it here. You also have a little prompt library here to kind of give you a little head start onto how to prompt with Developer Copilot. And we'll touch on this again in another video. But that about wraps up all the buttons within App Builder. Get in there and start playing around, and we'll see you at the next one.